Hey guys, today we are going to do paneling. So what we have here is one file which I had earlier worked upon, and you can see a simple shape like a vault and some complicated shape like this, probably a lofted surface and a domical surface here. And you can see how easy it is to quickly kind of use a plugin called as paneling tools and create all of this reaming that you see, a structural grading with so much ease. So the only problem with this tool is that you won't get a paneling exactly along the curved surface. It would be faceted. Like if you look at this one, it's faceted. So they're all linear facets which are connected together. Whereas if you look at this one is done all along the surface. It goes well with the surface. And partly how this was done was by using a very popular tool called as flow along surface, which is under transform flow along surface. And there's a process for it, like you have to array the members and then create a surface underneath that, and then you have to apply that to a target surface. So we'll do all of that after some time. Just to give you an idea, this is what we're going to cover for today, and we had also created some templates here which is required. These are called as custom 2D templates, and over here we have custom 3D templates. So we'll get to know what all this means in a short while. So let's go to a fresh file here, and let's just draw a simple surface. Just put the shaded mode on, and let's jump at paneling tools and go under the first option, create paneling tools. There's a set of procedures here, and that you have to first go to this button here and you have to do something with it. Then you have to go to the second button over here and do something with this. So rest of the other options will not quite go into, and it's a little more advanced, and you can at your own convenience you could explore these. So as of now we could just go in here, and we'll just use this option called surface domain number. So click on this and click on the surface. Just have to follow the command line here. You've selected the surface, go ahead and hit enter. Now by default it has some numbers already set up. You want to reduce it or increase it, you could take good control of this. So say I want to go for 10 by 15 and say enter. So what you see here now, you see set of points actually put on the surface. So I can say some problem with my viewport, so I'll just click on this one. So everything is set to default, and still it hasn't taken care of that. So I think it's got some problem with the C planes. I'll just try to, it's correct, but this thing is drawn inaccurately. I mean, this has got some inclination and all that. Anyways, you get the point. So once you do this, I could do it again. Just delete all of this. Just quickly do it again. So you have the surface, go to paneling tools, custom paneling grid, surface domain number. Click on this, get the number of points. You could adjust this. Enter, adjust this, enter, and gets reflected in the surface. Right, and then what do you need to do next is go to the second tab, and then under this you could just go for the first option, panel 2D grid, paneling grid points. So let's just do it again. You have to go to paneling tools, create paneling grid, surface domain number, select the surface, enter. Can adjust these numbers and say, you have to say hit enter, very important. So once you say hit enter, by default the grid points are selected, and then you could do the next thing, that's go under the second tab and use panel 2D grid. By default it selects the grid points because it was selected when we created it in the first place. So it takes you to the second command. So it's asking you to select a surface, select the surface, and then automatically it puts some pattern on the surface which is controlled under pattern. You could try different shapes. dense, wave, and many others. The purpose of this exercise would leave it to triangular and just hit enter. Now what we could do is, since we have the curves which are your crisscross lines here, we could just hide the grid point and the surface, and then we could just pipe along this, and you'd get a nice ribbing done. So you could hit on the grid points. So if you see here, if I click on the curves, all the curves have been grouped as one. It's quite handy. For example, if you want to loft this, extrude these, then you could go on a surface, extrude curve straight, and you don't have to select them individually. That's the reason while you create either the grids or these edges, it's best to put the group setting to S. So you put the snap off, and you could just make it something like this. Okay, so we can just hide the control points, put it under a layer here. So we can just rename a layer first and put all the grid points there. And just hide it. It's not gone under that. And there we have it. You can hide the surface. Just have height. It's gone. And then you could just say pipe or something. And select all the surfaces, curves, and then you have to reduce this to pretty small. If this is your 1 unit, this is your 1 unit, then I guess we have to reduce to something like 0.05 or 3, enter. At the end radius it could be the same, say enter. But that's okay. I will just say enter again. And generally it pipes the whole thing, but we'll come back to that. Anyway, so now what we could do is, we could just do a simple arc surface, parabolic surface, and we could try doing it on that surface now. So go to the perspective view and just take it on the side, and just extrude this one. And then use the same paneling tools over these now. So go to paneling tools, create paneling grid and surface domain number. Select surface. This should look fine, and just hit enter. Just when it's all selected by default, go to the second tab, go under panel 2D grid and select the surface, and there you have it. Now you could do the same procedure. You could hide the points, and you could pipe along all of these curves, or hide or keep the surface as it is. Simple. Okay, what we'll do next is we'll just leave everything as it is, and we'll just select the surface from here. We'll just move it on the side. We'll just make a copy of that right ahead, and we'll do things slightly different for this. So what we're going to do, this is just a 2D pattern. Now we want to create a 3D pattern. Let's assume we want to create a 3D pattern and put it on the surface. So let's see how we can do it. Go to paneling tools, again the same set of tools, paneling tools, surface domain number, select this, enter. There are the grid points, center. And now you have to create, in order to create a 3D template, you require to give it a thickness, some depth. So what you need to do is, first you need to offset these grid points, which is under grid utilities, offset points. So we select the surface. I had pre-selected the points, so it did not ask me to select the points again, and there you have it. In this case I think the distance is quite too much, so I'll have to redo it again. So what I can do is go to paneling tools again, under grid utility, offset points, and here you can set the distance. So I can set this to very small, even say 0.5 or so, and select the points of course, and just say hit enter. Appears nothing has happened, so let's just do it again. And points, grid utility, offset points, guess you have to select the points first and say enter, or resistance is already set, say enter. You select the surface, so I skip that command. There we have it. So you have a set of 2 grid points with an offset, and I hit enter again to create that one. So once you have this, then you could go under paneling tools and second tab, and then you would go to paneling 3D grid. You go under this, again you have some patterns here, so you can go for any one of this. You want to go for partition. Let's see how partition looks. It will ask you to select, sorry, I came out of this, so let me do it again. Panel from grid, panel 3D grid. The thing with this command is you can't select the points first and then decide at the end, towards the end, to select the pattern. I'll just show you how. Paneling tools, paneling from grid, and let's just say I'm going by this. I'm just selecting the first grid, hit enter, second grid, hit enter. I don't have any option for the pattern to select, so it's very important. What I need to do is we need to select the pattern first. So let's say I want to select a pyramid pattern. You have to make a selection first, make sure group is turned to on. Let's select these 2 points, say enter, and there you have some pattern going. Really don't know what exactly it is, but these are all presets. If you're not happy with these, then you could create your own custom 3D templates. Let's just see how we can do that. So we can just delete that, and likewise you can try the other options as well. What are the other templates you have under panel 3D? But let's just say we want to create a custom 3D, a custom template. So how do we do it? So just go to the top view. We are somewhere over here. Just create a quick template. Let's just create a square, and inside the square we'll just draw some lines. Put your snap on, and just offset these. There is a through point option for this to offset this, so that we could visually decide how much do we want to offset it, and then repeat the commands on all the sides. And probably on this side I want it a little less, because it's when this is going to be added on all the sides, I don't want the thickness to become too wide, but I think we can go with this, so that should be fine. And then we need to just trim away all this corner so that we get a clean loop. We just hit trim and just select everything, enter, and we just have to just trim away all those things. And don't need this, don't need this. So we have this one done. Just say enter. You could just join, because if these are in parts, then you could just say hit join, and then they're not quite joined. So what we can do is we can do something else to create these loops. So very popular and very interesting tool under curve tools, the second last icon, curve booleans. So how this works is, you just select everything, and in order to create loops, then you just click inside. Now you want to create this as one polygon, so you just have to click inside, and it gets highlighted like this, and just hit enter. So when you say enter, then by default the created curves are selected. Then you have the option of just moving it on the side, or I would also select the square here. Here's my shift button, and then I would take all of this on the side like this. So if you look at this is all loops now, right? Now we're creating a template like this, so these are going to be the hollows and stuff. So we need to extrude this couple of times and execute your boolean difference for this. So let's just do this for the square first. So you go on the solid, extrude planar curve straight, and we'll go to the perspective view to get a better idea of this. So select this and extrude this how much ever you want. and then maybe go to the top view so that you could see these members, and then again do the same thing for these triangles, all of these with the perspective view, and then you're going to extrude it way above these, and then you're going to have a simple subtraction boolean command. Select all of this, say hit enter. Nothing seems to have happened. Just do it again. Enter, and then select all of these. Enter. There we have it. And once we have this is all in parts, or is it one? So it's one, so we're good to go. We have the template here. The next thing is very simple. Instead of go to paneling tools, paneling from grid, and this time we have to use paneling custom 3D. So it'll ask you to select both the bounding grids. Select one, say enter, select second, say enter. You can just leave these out, say enter, and then just select this object. And I just give you a visual feedback just to tell you that this is the way it's going to get arrayed along the surface. So you copy that, you say yes, hit enter, and there we have it. I could hide the surface if you wish to. I could move it on the side so that we could do the next thing with that. And look at this, how clean it is. The only problem with this is, if you look at this, is all linear facets, as I've told you earlier. So this doesn't really go cleanly with the surface, along the surface. But that's okay. We have another method to do that. Okay, so I think that's about creating custom 3D panels, and you could do it along any surface. You could have a lofted surface, and you could do it with that. Yeah, you could have a sweep surface, and you could do it with that. You could do it with just about anything. You could do it with a dome, you could do it with a vault, anything. That's pretty much it. Now what we can try to do is we have created custom 2D panels already here, and we try to pipe it and all. So that's there. We'll try to use flow along the surface command, and we'll just create some template on the flow. Yeah, just kind of use the same square and hit tab just to copy this, and just a couple of circles to create some interesting pattern. And just trim away the excess. Just want this, and this. So we have this pattern. Let's just move it on one side so that we could create an array of that. So we'll go to the array command, just select this, hit enter, number of members in X direction 10, number of members in Y direction, let's say 15, Z direction 1. And you need to give a distance of the array. So we just select the diagonal points, and there we have it. Once we're done with that, we need to create a surface. Okay, by the way, we are trying to do flow along surface command, so just to remind you about that. So go to the surface command. Oh, there, I did a mistake again. I did not hit enter. So very important, you need to complete the step by hitting an enter. So again 10, say 15, and say 1, enter. Unit distance, this is done, hit enter, very important. And then you can create a surface from one point to the very end. Just put on the shaded mode on just to see whether it's created or not. Yes, created. And then what we could do with this is we could just copy the surface, just a surface. We just click and drag and just hit your Alt button just to create a copy of that. These are pretty too many compared to this, but this is a curved surface, so I'll just try. You can just try what happens. It may become very dense, but let's just do it. So now you execute this command, and under this command a couple of set of processes that you need to do. It's asking you for the, okay, basically it should have asked you to select the objects first, because we have pre-selected the surface. It's not the right procedure we are following, so just escape everything out, go to the top view and repeat the command, pressing enter, select the objects first, and we have to deselect the square and this surface. Okay, once that's done, you should enter, use your base surface. Now base surface is going to be the surface that you've drawn below this, and generally you need to click one of the corners of this, not the edges, but just the surface, a corner in the surface, so maybe somewhere around here. And if that's the point you've selected, you should really know where you want that point to match to. So I think I need to match it to this corner here, so I just have to click on this surface, and there you have it. Pretty dense, but it nicely goes along the curve. If you look at this edge, nothing protrudes out as linear facets or something. So that's a nice thing. You can now just select the surface, and you could just hide it, and you have these lines, and we could try to pipe it. Fingers crossed whether or not it will work. It should work, just because the thing is too dense, and I don't know if I have a lot of memory resources to execute this, but we could try it out. Just have to select all of the curves. It's already asking me the diameters of this of the pipe. Can go to the perspective view and can either give it here, put off your all snap, and just do it visually like this. And you could have the same, if you want to use the same radius, hit enter and say enter again. So no, it did not work. Ideally it should work, but let's just try it one more time. Pipe, just say multiple, select curves, enter. Do we need a cap? Cap is like the end of the pipe, so do we really require it or no? I think radius, so we would change the radius first to 0.03, 0.04, and the end radius also to creating a mesh. So the fact that it's taking very long time, that means that it has created. Wonderful. Look at this. So I think that's about it about paneling, and there are many more options I've told you which are not very advanced, but if you can learn by yourself, I think in your own convenient time, that would be great. Thank you for watching this video.